Thomas Nimmo Taylor was born in Greenock on the 16th of December 1873. The first child of middle-class parents James Taylor, a headmaster of the local school, and Roseanne Nimmo. The Taylor family fortune was sustained by weaving. Thomas's baptism took place with an unusual delay on the 4th of January, but this did not disturb Taylor in later life because it happily coincided with St. Therese of Lisieux's first anniversary of baptism. Soon after his birth, his brother Henry John was born, followed by Alexander, then his sister Roseanne, who sadly died before her first birthday, and a final brother called James Bede. 3 of the Taylor brothers became priests, and Henry John, the only sibling to marry, would later be the father of a priest himself. The Taylors were a devout Catholic family. Thomas was educated at the nearby Franciscan convent school and later at St Aloysius College in Glasgow. It was at this time that signs of his piety and vocation were growing. He was more reserved and studious, different to those around him. His father's diaries speak more of the pranks of his brother Alex, with no reference to Thomas. He was known as Tommy Taylor, the student who never broke a rule, and was nicknamed by his fellow students Pious Tommy. His intellect was noticed, and he was encouraged by a Jesuit priest to apply for seminary at St Mary's, Blair's, where he eventually entered in 1889. Due to poor health in 1891, it was thought better that he should be transferred to seminary in Saint-Sulpice, France, and then Issy. With his studies in France, this allowed the young seminarian to visit Lourdes for the first time in 1893. The young Taylor was drawn again back to Lourdes in 1894, where he met and questioned St Bernadette's brother, as well as Madame Abadie, who, as a young girl, accompanied St Bernadette on the day of the first apparition in Lourdes. Lourdes had a tremendous effect on Taylor. He wrote, "The hushed crowd of worshippers and the statue of our Queen may never be forgotten. May this year of the diaconate and the priesthood be blessed by the Sacred Heart. O my God, make me a holy priest." He was ordained a priest in June 1897, the same year that St Therese entered into eternal life. He first served as a curate in St Patrick's, Dumbarton. In 1900, he became a lecturer at St Peter's College, Bearsden. It was during this time, in 1901, he was given an abridged translation of The Story of a Soul, the life of St Therese, by a friend, Father Bernard Lynch, which profoundly inspired him. He contacted the Mother Prioress of the Lisieux Carmel and St Therese sisters, suggesting her cause for sainthood be introduced. He also requested copies of the original autobiography and distributed these widely. He wrote at the time, "The next step was the publication of pictures and leaflets. These were distributed throughout the English-speaking world." He was noted as the first pilgrim from Britain to visit St Therese's grave, which at that time was so unknown, a local priest in Lisieux, upon being asked directions, did not know where it was. It was this same year that he wrote a leaflet on St Therese's life, selling 100,000 copies, which led to the funding of his full-length translation of The Story of a Soul, which appeared in 1912. Aside from his interest in St Therese, he also maintained his connection to Lourdes. Whilst lecturing in Bearsden, he published a book entitled Lourdes and its Miracles, which, along with a series of lectures, helped to make Lourdes better known in Scotland. On Friday 9th July 1915, he was appointed parish priest of St Francis Xavier Carfin.